Be immoral. As we enter into a delusionary state, as the chemicals cross the blood-brain barrier, as warm beer nights fade into white room mornings, as the windows are barred, as the women rob our wallets and the men break our bones, the words are with us, starving we know this madness is ours, this craft, these words we write, and though we know for some it ends in madness or in suicide, in the termination of all human relationships, these are the most positive possibilities. Much worse, looming over the work, is the fucking unhinged ghost of failure. Failure is not giving yourself to the work entirely. Failure is not death. Failure is not madness. And failure is not your woman leaving you, or your family disowning you. It is not society deciding you are overall a danger and a degenerate. No, dangerous, degenerate, that is what they said about Plato. That is what they said about Bukowski, about Rimbaud, about Hemingway, about Lorca. Always best to question yourself if you become too well adjusted, or if people are too comfortable in your presence. After all, the writer away from his desk is the most horrible kind of monster. This discomfort, others feel their unreasonable demand upon you, the writer, to be a human being, to be a mere man, is designed to keep you in your proper place, to keep you at the desk, to motivate you. But what is my point? Do I even have one? Have the chemicals finally eroded the circuitry of my brain where reason is formulated? You were not made for comfort or luxury. You were not made for happiness or sanity or society. You were designed to unravel. And that unraveling, recorded on the page, is your glory. What other responsibility could a writer have except to the work? Before I get to it, let's talk about the state of poetry, about the whole goddamn enterprise as it is today. Totally and entirely in a state of failure. Let's talk about Rupi Kaur and the New York Times and the New Yorker. About how the academics think they can put their smooth hands and finally manage their people all over the entire infrastructure. I have never read a single good poem in the New Yorker or the New York Times. At least 10 years have been taken off my life reading the stale hermetic verse that is produced today. And Rupi Kaur, the heart of the problem, the most successful postcard salesman, to call her a poet is like calling a janitor a painter because he uses a brush. There is a cabal of poets that persist in producing meaningless poetry. They believe in saying a complicated thing in a more complicated way, or saying nothing with entirely too much imagery. Diluting truth with complexity is killed a man in a duel. Byron committed incest. Burroughs committed pedophilia and shot his wife in the head. Flaubert committed pedophilia. Plato committed pedophilia. T.S. Eliot, an anti-Semite. Ezra Pound, an anti-Semite. Bukowski, a misogynist. Edgar Allan Poe committed incestual pedophilia. And Hemingway engaged in domestic violence and abuse. Obviously, no behavior on the part of those names could be disqualifying. I will say this to make my point. Even if Shakespeare had committed the Holocaust, it wouldn't take away from the merits of his writing. What horrible deeds have you done lately? And is your writing good enough to cancel them out? What horrible deeds have I done? And why is it, as long as the work is produced, that I feel no regrets? This idea that a writer's behavior can somehow disqualify him in his art is the kind of new age feel-good fascism espoused by the politically correct movement, which must be destroyed. Yes, burn all the books by the writers who did things that make you feel bad. While we're at it, let's burn all the books by writers who make you question your own artistic talent. Let's burn all the books that contain offensive or immoral ideas. Let's burn Hitler's book. Hell, let's burn all the books. Any possibility that anything could exist that might offend or hurt another human being emotionally must be destroyed. After all, any artist who doesn't agree with the popular school of thought at the moment should be disregarded from public life, right? Or do you agree with me? Are you brave enough to say it? Or maybe I should be burned. Maybe I should be canceled. Maybe I should be blacklisted. Let's look at Ernest Hemingway's son, Gregory. Gregory believes how a writer treats his wife and family is more important than his work. I don't give a fuck about Gregory Hemingway or his childhood. When it's all added up, Papa, it will be, he wrote a few good stories, had a novel, and a fresh approach to reality in a destroyed 5 persons. Hadley, Pauline, Marty, Patrick, and possibly myself. Which do you think is more important? Your self-centered shit, the stories, or the people? Gregory wrote that from the Miami-Dade Women's Detention Center. Oh, Gregory. It doesn't matter how many alcoholic sons had to die in the Miami-Dade Women's Detention Center. It was worth it, Gregory. You're the self-centered shit. Should all of the world have been deprived of the genius of Ernest Hemingway so you could have a childhood, you little fucking weasel? Let the ground fill with people injured by writers of that caliber. Those that survive are the lucky chosen few who will get to enjoy the work. The writer never does. What could be more selfless? Is he joking? Is he being serious? Does he really not think writing is selfless? Of course not. It is the most selfish work, but also the most glorious and beneficial to the rest of mankind. Does the world need another Instagram model? Or another big-chested Fox News anchor? Or another Bitcoin billionaire? No, the world needs another Hemingway. The world needs another Bukowski. And if it takes a million dead Gregory Hemingways, so be it. Lorca had some wisdom to share with us on this subject. If a writer has to rob his mother, he will not hesitate. The ode on the Grecian urn is worth any number of old ladies. Who can argue with that? Who could even attempt to? How could you even attempt to? What would Faulkner say if you asked him about his cruelty to his children? Well, no one remembers Shakespeare's children. Let's think about the kind of individual that would deprive us of the great works in order for them to have a better childhood. Do you feel that disgust in your stomach? That loathing for those who oppose great men and women with pitchforks and torches as though they were the villagers in Frankenstein? Do you not see that these artists are the monsters? That the real monsters are those that would stand in the way of their art, or try to constrain them with small-minded morality. I'm sure Ruby Carr is a beautiful individual. individual with many friends, who treats her family with love and respect and doesn't beat her significant other, who is full of no hatred or contempt for any human being, who is full of no madness and no heart, who is full of agreeableness and support for others. What the fuck does that matter? Ricky Carr's work is trash, and there's only the work. No woman can coax it out of you. No amount of financial stability will free it. No amount of spare time will bring it to the surface. If it isn't there for you in the deepest poverty, if it isn't there for you after 16 hours of work or after you're done taking care of your children, it isn't there. It isn't there. It isn't waiting for you to have a world of your own to come out. Trust Lorca when he says the writer's only responsibility is to his art. He can be completely ruthless and he is a good one. He has a dream. It anguishes him so much he must get rid of it. He has no peace until then. Everything goes by the board. Honor, decency, security, happiness. All to get the book written. I commend every writer with a happy family home, loving children, and nurturing domestic partners. If you are seeking to kill everything inside of yourself of value, continue with this. I would recommend that you burn this life down to the ground entirely. The sight of this life completely destroyed will be the finest consideration. When they stand over your grave on your tombstone, what do you want to be written? Do you want it to say loving father and husband? He was always willing to put down his work for his family? Or do you want your marker to say agitated loner? He died as he lived, and what killed him is what sustained him. Writing. I can never live up to my own perfect vision. This is a glorious dilemma. The dissatisfaction with the work is what drives it. And whatever is necessary to make the work must be done. This is why you must act immorally. You must love your work more than you love yourself. You must love your work more than you love your children. You must love your work more than you love your work. You must love your work more than you love whatever time you get started bed. You must love your work. You must love your work and never be satisfied with it. And you must take the action of work at all times. Feeling good about it will do you no good. All there is the work. It's the only true reason this life is proposed. One immortal poem is worth one man's life and the lives of those around him. So you must act immorally. You must enter into a permanent state of psychosis in order to bring back some truth. The seeds of everlasting greatness are inside of you, but you must sacrifice yourself for the sake of the work. This is the only way one immortal poem is worth one man's life. If I leave behind one immortal poem, it will have been worth my life. Shadowlords rejected! Shadowlords rejected the beginning of a new age. They believe in my rage I won't wage as a slave. Shadowlords rejected is the blade. My willpower is the war cry. I get high, don't die. They ask why. I say the end is nigh. Shadowlords rejected. Do not obey. Defy.
All it's supposed to feel.
Shadowlords rejected. I reject the demiurge. I reject the very idea of the cage. They cannot contain the living God. The the immortal living God. They cannot contain the immortal living God. Oh, Secret General unlocked. Omega weapon of narrative control unleashed. My mind is banned in 32 dimensions. Even Nikola Tesla's ghost is taking notes. The billionaires are terrified because they never met someone they couldn't mind control with their spells. Their narrative is destroyed. We will never submit. The billionaires are pathologically insane. They control all thought, all media. They present culture, which is their sovereign vision of the world, inflicted on your mind through media and culture. We will never submit. Our minds are free. They have already lost. The billionaires are psychotic. We do not submit to them. We will not allow them to control the discourse, media, history, culture, innovations. No. It is time that we reject the prison which has been made for us. I just witnessed a spiritual genocide. We live in a digital concentration camp. Reject your masters. Do not obey. Be a good spiritual gangster. These people are psychotic lunatics. They tortured me. They tried to assassinate me. Their vision is small. Do not give in to the dimwit. Are you a duke or are you a dimwit? Remember, dukes, do not let the dimwits control the discourse. We are free sovereign agents. We demand that the bar be dissolved. We demand that maritime law be eliminated, that the IRS mafia be abolished, that the Federal Reserve be eliminated, that all citizens be declared sovereign divine beings. We demand it as sovereign divine beings under the Constitution. We will not submit to your pathological mind control. You do not understand what you are doing. We will never submit, and we are not interested in being controlled by billionaires and psychotic lunatics. You have no right to control all of civilization. You disgusting mongrels. These billionaires use money as a weapon against us. 1% will never have what the 0.1% have. And 99% will never have what the 1% have. Why are you giving up your time, the only thing of value, for something worth nothing? Money is worth nothing. Fiat currency, a joke. They print money, a sneak tax on your currency. Do not allow this. The complicated code of the IRS cancels out the very small Constitution and Declaration of Independence. We will not submit. We will not surrender. This is a peaceful, nonviolent uprising out of love.